Hey guys, and welcome to episode 2 of our Divinity playthrough. Today we should be getting up to the second deck, but first we need to come into this back room to see what's going on and register with Magister William. If you didn't see the last episode, I would suggest you go take that a look so that you know kind of what's going on so far. During the last episode, we also met Ifan and Sybil, and they are two of the people that we could have join our team later on in the playthrough. I'll still have to figure out who I want to join. This episode we're going to meet Losa, the Red Prince, and Fane as well. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode, and we'll get into this a little more. So first, I'm going to come over here and talk to Losa.
Ah, there you are, wife. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical.
Alright, we're going to play along and take her arm with a grin. Tell the children they must be mistaken.
How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we?
Say that's true enough. Shake her hand. Losa, you presume?
You presume right.
We're going to ask if she knows anything about the murder that happened on board.
Nope. Trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
We're going to tell her she ought to have a look around with you. You can watch each other's backs.
Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
Alright. So that is Losa, again, one of the other companions that we could have. Let's see what these little kids have to say.
She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen. La 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 la.
You look a little bit elfish. Maybe your daddy was an elf. My daddy's name is Frida. He's waiting for me at home. I'll go home soon.
My mum doesn't like elves, but I have a secret. When I grow up, I'm gonna be an elf. She'll get used to it.
Little kids and their dreams. So we're just going to explore around, continue gathering things that we may need or sell in the future.
They don't
Loot
care
everything
about us.
and
Did
talk
you
to
see
everyone.
the body? They ought to let you taste a bit. Maybe you'd find out who done it.
Yeah, if only it wasn't how I have to steal it in order to get the body part.
A Blue Dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, Ghetto. You hear that?
We're going to ask what we're meant to be hearing.
The ship, of course.
We're going to go quiet and listen to the sounds of the ship.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
Tell him the ship is moaning like a sick man.
Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mums. But there's more. Listen close.
We're going to close our eyes and try to let the ambient sound of the ship fade away.
There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There, you heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, kiddo. Good news.
Nod, you heard it. What's it supposed to be?
It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been traveling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
Ask why he's so excited about reaching Fort Joy. You haven't heard anything good about the place.
Yeah, no indeed, kiddo. But that ain't my final destination.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all, thank ye kindly, kiddo.
We're going to say nothing, but look him over once before leaving. You may want to find him again inside Fort Joy. And that one was Beast, another one of the companions that we could have. Next we'll talk to the Red Prince.
Well, well, what have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
Humor him. Let's see where this leads.
There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
Nah, tell him you're quite the wizard in the kitchen. A true chef.
Ah, music to my beleaguered stomach. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
Most certainly. Tell him given a sheet of satin, you can make a bum look like a baron.
Oh, to feel the caress of satin on my scarlet skin once more. A most satisfactory answer indeed. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after.
Say you most certainly have personal pride. You're no stranger to combs, powders, and perfumes.
The very basics, then. I suppose that's a start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you can cook, tailor, and groom. Well, that just about settles it. I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave.
We're going to tell him you have a mind to punch him in the
You
face.
should probably come to terms with the fact that you've half a mind, full stop. Rein in your impertinence, will you? I'm a fair man, but I won't spare the rod. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort Joy. Now shoo!
Can we just skip to the part
First
where I
meeting
reassure
of
you
the
and
Red
you shut up?
Prince.
You think me mad?
Always an interesting one.
Mad? No.
Steal all this beer.
Surely.
Never know when you might need a good bottle of beer in your life.
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers, too. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The Indignity.
Yeah, something I think
Never
I've
thought
learned
you'd
from
end up a
playing this
prison
game
doc.
is that the lizards
That's right.
are
I always
from
hated
royal
turning up dogs to
heritage.
Ben Mason.
I would say, so
Your kind
most of them
always hung
all
closest to our divine,
I have
like
had
wolves
slaves
around
and
a
lived
campfire.
nice lives.
Well,
Alright,
you've got this wolf on a leash
got
now.
that. Why don't we give a talk to the Magister? We'll tell him our name.
Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a killer here.
Well, you know, I'm trying to catch that killer too, because I want that gold.
You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying
Alright.
to concentrate.
I think last 2 people we need to talk to are right here. First one we'll talk to is Fane.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out and examines your face, tugging at your ears and prodding your nose.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
Ask whether the book he's reading is any good. He seems engrossed in it.
It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history?
We'll use the elf response and say that memories of the past are precious to our people. At least they were until our homelands were destroyed.
Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
We're going to use the mystic response. You have often pondered the nature of the gods, but you don't have any sure answers.
Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else? Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
We're going to shrug and take our leave. And that was Fane. He is the last of the companions that we could possibly have in our playthrough.
Here's the register, ma'am. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
Tell him you're fine.
Glad to hear it. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Alright, here we go. Let's go figure out what's going on back here.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
Say yes, sir, and turn to leave. This murderer must be brought to justice.
By all means, do as the officer says. But you had better hurry, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
I would have to say that is probably the quickest battle in this entire game.
What's happened?
Alright, looks like we got some new journal entries. So we have to flee the ship. A sorcerer slipped her source collar and triggered a huge explosion. We have to escape. Find a weapon. It's not safe here. We should arm ourselves. Confessing to murder, the sorcerer Wendigo implied that we had something in common with her victim. She triggered an explosion and escaped. Alright, so I guess we have something to do, or we're similar to the person that got murdered, but as of right now we don't really know what. So for now we'll just gather up as much stuff that we can in here, loot some of these bodies, and we will try to get out of this place. And here we go. Here is our weapon. I'm mainly gonna be using stabs for this playthrough, so this will be the kind of weapon that we have the entire time around. Ooh, and we got some pants. I don't think we got any. Yep. So we have at least one extra point of armor on us. Bottle of wine. We'll take that. Anything over here? Doesn't look like it. So we will grab this stuff real quick, and then all the magisters look like they will be dead, so we will go loot all those bodies real fast before moving up to the second floor. Looks like just a list of different things that they have in that one. A few of them are in good spirits, especially the children. The others are sullen. Don't blame them. Change is rough. But they'll make new friends sooner or later, and when we cure them for good, they'll be thanking us, not cursing. Well, most of them. That elf with the dice, that lone wolf, the cracky-voiced woman in the kitchen, some folks won't get over it. Reckon they won't be the first to get cured, if they're ever cured at all. And then just another list of stuff that has been shipped with them. Oh, I can loot that. Alright, so we'll gather all these bodies real fast because you never know what you might find. Looks like Fane is gone. All the main characters should be passed out for now. So they won't be much help to us as of right now. But I think we can handle ourselves pretty well. We got a little bit of armor, some weapons. I think we got this. Make sure I looted everything here. I don't. Oh, we need to go back to the murder dude. And we'll see what we can get from him now that if the Magisters are all dead. Yeah, out of all the Magisters, apparently Magister Siwan is the only one to survive. And I have no idea why. But now that we're here, this is the main reason why I chose to do an elf, because with the elf they have a racial trait of where they can eat any flesh that comes from a person and relive the memories of the past.
As the dead man's flesh slides down your throat, you feel his consciousness enter yours. His memories are yours to experience. You are Finn. Your heart is heavy. You know too much. It's all too much. You met him. A bright light blinds you, then fades. You feel a tremendous power in your hands, but they are shaking so hard you can barely use them. Suddenly you're on this very ship, crouched in a corner, hugging your knees. A figure approaches, an older woman. Her eyes are kind. She comes closer. She says she wants to talk. She reaches a hand toward you. You grasp it. The memories end. You are no longer Finn. You return to yourself with a jolt.
And that's the nice thing about eating bodies, is sometimes you get spells from them. I probably won't be using adrenaline during this playthrough because you can gain 2 action points immediately, but lose 2 action points next turn. And I guess for me, I don't find it too useful. So we'll just keep that in our memory, in our spell slot, I guess, but not actually have it on our hotbar to use. And I think with that, we got everything. So on to the second deck.
The hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching.
Shout to the dog. It has to get out of here. The ship is going to sink.
The dog notices you for the first time and snarls. The hairs on its back prickling as it lowers itself into a lunge.
Sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose once more.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much sauce. Too much. Too much. Please, make it stop.
Tell the dog you're not the one who did this. You'd stop it if you could.
Sorcerer!
The dog whines and continues pawing at its nose.
Poor dog. Oh, some more beer. Ooh, we got another lucky charm. That gold will be pretty useful. This door's locked.
That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
Sure. Yeah, I could be using my staff and then tapping the door with that. But it wears down the durability of your weapon. So I just like to go through and hit it with my spells because it's a lot easier. And it's a pretty quick process to get through. Let's see if I can get through here without getting shot. Perfect. Ooh, another staff. I don't think there's much difference between the water and air, so I'll just keep it the air one for now. Got another journal. What do we got to read this time? The smeared ink makes the journal difficult to read, but you manage to make out much of the latest entry. And of course we can't turn it, so we will never know what that entry had to say for us. I think we're all rested. And we'll see what's over here.
By divine grace, who was that howling?
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer!
Motion to the destruction around you. What's going on here? What has he seen?
Like you don't know? Mutiny! Did that witch fix your collar too?
We're gonna do an intelligence persuasion. Tell him there is no mutiny. You almost died at this woman's hands.
Go on then. Find a place to hide and stay there.
Alright. We'll take this letter. My sweet Stefan. As I write this letter, we near the isle, but the time the owl delivers it, I will be but a day away. I've heeded Alexander's orders, just as you said I should. But I think of Lucian often. Would the divine have condoned this? Would he have blessed us as we ripped children from their mothers? Can this be the only way? I feel cold, inside and out. Of one thing I am certain. Your arms will warm me when I find you again. With love, Rix. Aw, that's a very sweet letter. I'm pretty sure... Yep, that's Rix right there. Sadly, he's probably not gonna make it. Just because of the fact of the situation we're in right now. This letter contains a set of instructions for transporting sorcerers to a place called The Joy. But someone has inked an angry black line from the top left to the bottom right. Huh. Very interesting. Not terribly interesting, but it's something at least. See what all this stuff has to offer us. Some tombs. Read these real quick. The Source Hunters, valiant though they were, could not have foreseen Brachus's resurrection at the hands of the cult of the Imclurites. We owe our very lives to two more of the very order that first fought to bring Brachus Rex to justice. The Source King is dead, yet his monument still dot the land, a chilling but necessary reminder of his legacy of cruelty, greed, and sorry about that, guys, and arrogance. Over many brutal decades, Brachus's tyranny spread. His hunger for source and political power drove him to develop horrendous devices of magic heretofore are unknown. He punished the living with death and the dead with undeath. Many attempted to stand up to him, wizards, philosophers, scholars, but it was the order of the Source Hunters that immediately forced Brachus Rex to atone for his sins. And one more. Sorcerers, monarchs once performed great deeds across the lands, and in his first days Brachus did so from the isle he called home. But in time, as is true with so many things, he became increasingly corrupted by Source. So great It was his greed and his fear that crafted a soul forge with his twin and Cass. We're just going to call her Cass because I don't want to have to pronounce it all. Once the ritual was complete, Brachus turned her into an undead lich so that she, and thus he, might live forever. So, from what I'm getting is Brachus was a pretty terrible dude that ruled for a while and almost came back, but luckily they were able to defeat him again. And now that we've looted everything, I am going to, once we shift a few things around here, I'm going to be a terrible person and attack these two. Alright. And we'll take out Magister Ricks real quick. And then take out this guy. I actually did not expect it to be that quick, but that works. Does you guys get anything good? Or are we just getting experience? A little gold, that's always beneficial. Alright. And off we go. Go explore this other room and then move forward some more. Anything over here? Nope. But another golden cup. Alright, I think that's about it for this area.
We need to get off this wreck and quick.
So out here we go. Oh, nice. Now we actually have a little bit more armor. Actually, I feel like this is a pretty good, we found pretty good items so far for a beginning area at least.
Great God, something's pounding on the hull.
Gold. Yeah, this part's gonna be just a little boring because all we're doing is trying to get out of here.
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is. A warning of death fog within. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The color drains from your hand, and you are left numb.
We're going to yank our hand away. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I believe the reason why we are able to recognize that symbol is because of the fact that the elven homelands had been destroyed by the Magisters using death fog. So elves are kinda few and far between in this world now. Bow and gold. Alright. Looks like we still have about 5 minutes on my timer, so I think we will get up here. Because, yeah, Fane is up here, so we'll get up here and talk to him, and then we'll probably end the episode there. And I was trying to avoid getting burnt, but it works. Note and skull marked. Murtov. Death fog barrels have been locked down in storage. Stay out, you and Rick's both. If anyone tries fooling around down there, it'll be lights out. Captain Calwin. It sounds like that Rick and other dude were kinda troublemakers on this ship before this happened. Alright, Fane, what you up to?
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel sits in the middle of his forehead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia, muttering to himself.
No, no, no! What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet, it cannot even resist acid. No wonder they're so bloody ignorant.
You know, I am really curious what he uses to write on, because if it can resist acid, I feel like we definitely need to have that in our lives.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
There's something familiar about the way he holds that book.
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from page to page.
Yes, indeed. It's the look of someone that wants to read the bloody book he's holding. Now, if you're really quite finished, I believe you have lifeboats to flee to.
That's it, the elf. He's the elf that was reading the book.
Please, I was no more an elf than you are those rags you're wearing. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive form. A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little scene. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands.
Nah, that seems quite sensible.
Indeed. Just as sensible as getting off a sinking ship and leaving a fellow to his business. I would say good day, but it seems quite likely that you're about to die a rather terrible death, so...
The skeleton shrugs casually and returns to his book.
And now we get to see Fane for his true form. Oh, I missed that barrel. So, I think with that, I believe we will end the episode here. Next episode we'll explore this death fog door if that skull mark key works for the skull marked door. We'll get up onto the next level of the ship and see how far we can get through. We should be able to get through that next level pretty quickly next episode. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and next week I hope you come to see the next episode. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more and enjoy the video. Have a great day.